Today we're looking at underrated Magic the Gathering cards for less than $10. That's right. So let's get the party started. Powder Keg, 2 generic mana. Very old card. I have to admit that I'm cheating a little bit on the price thing here. But you know what? In HP condition, it's going to be less. Whoops, it's going to be less than $10. So Powder Keg is effectively Ratchet Bomb, except it's got like maybe a little bit of a bonus or a downside depending on the deck that you're playing. 2 generic mana for an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a fuse counter on Powder Keg. Then you can tap, sack it, destroy each artifact and creature with converted mana cost equal to the number of fuse counters on Powder Keg. So you hit the artifacts and the creatures, but you do not hit enchantments. You do not hit planeswalkers. You do not hit... What other card types am I missing here? So basically, you hit some of the important stuff that you want to hit. But you get to protect the stuff that you don't want to damage. So if you're playing a very enchantment or planeswalker heavy deck, maybe you're a stacks player or something, you might want to use your Powder Keg. Also, if you just want a second Ratchet Bomb, there you go. If you need, you might be a Ratchet Bomb enthusiast out there. All right, let's look at Toads, Ogre Slumlord. What is this guy? This guy's very cheap. You're not even trying on the... You got a whole budget of $10. All right, we got a black 3 generic 3/3 Ogre Rogue. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you can get a black rat. And your rats have Death Touch. The Rat Lord over here. Abzo, where are you getting a Black Lotus under $10? You just go get them proxies. Your printer! You spent... honestly, the ink is going to cost more than $10. That's how they get you. Alright, what do we got next? We got, this Archon of Cruelty is definitely not underrated. That is a very... I'm not going to say it's overrated, but it's like the card of all cards. Authority of the Consuls. That is an interesting one. Alright, we have a white enchantment. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. So if you hate your opponent's hasty creatures... Tell them to screw off with the authority of the Consuls. Show them your authority. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain a life. Oh, I gotta do a sound effect for this. Let the life rain down on the authority of the Consuls, that, or whatever. Okay, we have Michael with Fact or Fiction. This was a very popular card. Now it's just like a little bit of, why didn't Fact or Fiction show up? Do I have to like put in quotation marks or something? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, like if I put or, they look at that like it's a command or something. All right, Fact or Fiction. This was one of the most popular like card advantage spells that it's like disappeared from existence. This card's still good. It is still good. All right, we got blue 3 generic instant. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put 1 pile into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So if you just need like raw random cards in your hand, you like need 3 cards, you need a little bit of a pickup, Fact or Fiction will get the job done. But here's the thing. The other pile goes into the dumpster. So if you're playing some sort of graveyard deck, you're like, okay, this pile will be good in my hand. That pile will be great in my graveyard. So it fuels not only your hand, but also the graveyard simultaneously at the same time. I think Fact or Fiction is an amazing card that will smash your opponents before they even know it. Should be a staple everywhere. But completely forgotten. Damn! Wild Defiance. What a weird card. This is a card people keep trying to jam hard in Modern. We have a green 2 generic enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, that creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. It's like it's for infect players. Would Mana Leak be considered underrated? I don't know, maybe. Probably not. There's like so many better counter spells out there. It's underrated in formats where it's not legal. Yeah, Wild Defiance, basically for you infect people. When Civilization reaches out its greedy hand, take it off at the wrists. Okay, Tommy with a Heartless Summoning. Is this that black card? It is. Black 1 generic. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Creatures you control get -1/-1. The people try to build around this card all the time. So far, completely unsuccessfully. But you can see the demand here. Oh, you can't see the demand. It's like a $4.50 card for something that sees like zero play, zero competitive play. I guess it's just you know, people are buying up play. I don't know. It's either speculators or people buying up play sets because they are trying to make the damn thing work. It looks like it could be broken, but I mean, it's hard to make it work. Does this go into affinity decks? Does this make affinity better? Or maybe that's just overkill. Allocation says, I've tried making Heartless Summoning work. Mere Superior, Unearth, and Rotting Regisaur multiple times. Oh, Rotting Regisaur. But the problem with Rotting Regisaur is, again, like, you could just cast that for 3 mana next turn, right? You took a turn off playing Heartless Summoning on turn 2 to play your Rotting Regisaur for 1 mana on turn 3, but you could play it for 3 mana next turn as well. It's broken with the Gitrog monster and others. Oh, is it? Oh, well, let's see the tier 1 deck at it. Let's see the tier 1 deck. King Ginger with the Cryptolith Rite. Cryptolith. Where is this on the blockchain? Alright, we got a green, 1 generic enchantment. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Don't underestimate your creatures getting being able to add mana. You sniped yourself. It's the second self-snipe in history, and it happened within like a week's time. King Ginger, I got it's self-sniped within seconds. Within seconds, what the hell? Okay, we'll donate your super chat somewhere else, King Ginger. Yeah, sniping himself, blue face, blue smiling. Okay, so anyway, Cryptolith Rite. Creatures adding mana. Don't especially if you have a lot of tokens, do not underestimate the amount of mana the Rite can make. Okay, we're gonna donate that last super chat though to Kevin with Righteous Aura. Kevin the Carpathian. Righteous? What kind of aura is this? We got a white 1 generic enchantment. Okay, it's not even aura. It's not even an aura. Do I have something here? It's a joke in on itself. A white, pay 2 life. The next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. This seems like a really bad circle of protection. That's all. There is a great difference between pain and injury. I guess the deal is, you can pay 2 life to prevent a lot of damage. Okay, you know what? I take it back. It's versatile, you know, and you don't have to activate it unless you're gonna save yourself at least 1 life. I like it. We got the Righteous Aura. Just what's it called? The name has nothing to do with its card type. Yeah, but it's for any color. It is for any color. It's actually quite good. Okay, now King Ginger not sniping himself. Nature's Will. Green, 2 generic for an enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, tap all lands that player controls, and all untap all lands you control. So it's got a similar vibe as Sword of Feast and Famine. In some ways, it's worse. Because if you're up against some sort of, say, control player, you just have to attack them with 1 creature, and then all of a sudden they're tapped out, and they can't use their counter magic. This card is amazing. I like this card. I like this card a lot. I didn't even know this card existed. Yeah, you just 1 creature gets through, and also it doubles your mana. That's wild. Sten with the Gruff Triplets. I'd never heard of one of them. Forget their twin brother and sisters. Okay, we have green, 3 generic for a 3/3 Satyr Warrior with Trample. This is a new card. How's to say that this is underrated? When Gruff Triplets enters the battlefield, if it isn't a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of it. Otherwise, it would multiply like crazy for eternity. When Gruff Triplets dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control named Gruff Triplets. All right, well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. We're going to wait and see what happens. Okay, Termis, Hollowed Haunting. The promo is less than $10. It is. And it can't. Remember, we're counting any... It could be like $12, because if it's HP or like, you know, it's been through the dryer a few times, it'll be under $10. Hollowed Haunting. White, 2 generic enchantment. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. You need a lot of enchantments on the battlefield. What is this, for the Enchantress deck or something? Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. Oh, this is actually for the spirits deck. Which they already have flying. But it would be cool to have vigilance. Vigilance with selfless spirit, that's probably absolutely busted. Great interaction. So this is a good card. Laboratory Maniac. What are you, nuts? How is that underrated? Or maybe it is now. I don't know. Ashen. Mudslide is actually quite good for $3. We're looking up Mudslide. We're talking about the card, right? Not the drink. Okay, come on. Come on, Scryfall. We stuck on Hollowed Haunting here. Oh, this card! The red 2 generic enchantment. Creatures without flying don't untap during the controller's untap steps. So it's like... It's not moat, but, you know, it's like a pseudo-moat. You know, you come at me, bro, but just come at me once. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may choose any number of tap creatures without flying he or she controls and pay 2 for each creature chosen this way. If the player does untap those creatures. So it's like, you know what this is? It's like red propaganda in some way, except you gotta pay the tax later. You pay the tax afterwards. So if you like propaganda, if you like, what's it called? Ghostly Prison. Here's the red one. You got Mudslide. Mudsliding around. We got the Comeuppance. Alright, Comeuppance. A white 3 generic instant. Prevent all damage. I hate it already. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn by sources you don't control. If damage from a creature source is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to that creature. So it makes creatures hit themselves. If damage from a non-creature source is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to the source's controller. Okay, so this is like a gigantic what is that? What is the red-white card, like, deflect all the damage back at somebody else? You redirect it. That's basically what Comeuppance is. It's like a 4-mana version of that, but it prevents all damage from all sources. Creatures deal damage back to themselves, and spells deal damage to the controller. I'm trying to think of the Deflecting Palm. That's right, Deflecting Palm. Thank you very much, Tommy. I know all the cards in Magic, I just don't know their names. I don't know their names. Yeah, it's the Uno reverse card. It's Magic the Gathering's version of the Uno reverse card. It's the ultimate Uno reverse card. Reverse all your cards. Reverse everything. And this is until end of turn? If damage... Oh, I see. So you could do this in... I was trying to figure out, how do you hit the spells and the creatures at the same time? You basically can only choose one. Basically, you do this in combat, or you also do this in response to, like, some burn spell. Prevent all damage that would be dealt. Sources you don't control. It doesn't even give a timeline. It feels like if I play this card, it's just perpetually in effect for forever. Shouldn't it say until end of turn? Or something like that? Toilet Talk says, funny story, most prints of Laboratory Maniac are less than $10 according to Scryfall. It is true. Yeah, no you. Anyway, okay, whatever. I just don't. Usually it'll say something. You'll prevent this until end of turn. I guess you're just preventing directly in response to a particular source. John, Eldrazi Displacer. That card is amazing. This card is actually sick. It could see a lot of play even right now. White 2 generic 3/3 Eldrazi with the Void. Pay colorless 2 generic. Exile another target creature, then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. This card is busted. So I don't even know why this card doesn't see more play. Because this would be amazing in a deck with Solitude and Fury. You just perpetually blink. You've heard of, like, what's called Ephemerate. This was the Ephemerate before Ephemerates. So it's amazing with ETB creatures. Eldrazi Displacer. Unbelievably bonkers. I think it should see a lot of play. You could cast your Elemental for free, and then with the trigger on the stack, just blink it back onto the battlefield. You get 2 triggers, and you get to keep the creature. It's a win-win all around. Everybody wins. Except the person who doesn't control the Displacer. Robert with Scoot Swarm. I swear you've mentioned Scoot Swarm before. Like, you just come onto the show every single time and suggest Scoot Swarm. Green 2 generic, 1/1 insect, landfall. When a land enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 green insect. But if you have 6 or more lands, you get a token of Scoot Swarm instead. Which means you're going to make, every single time you play a land, from there on out, you get tons of Scoot Swarms and tons of Scoot Swarms. And they just multiply like rabbits. It's exponential. Okay, what do you got for me? Raccoon. Herd of Ballast. It's criminally underrated. Goes ham with Mazarek and Visirasir. Alright, let's investigate. It is a 5-mana 4/4 beast. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on Herd Baloth, you create a 4/4 green beast creature token. There we go. So, I mean, you get any counter on here, you get more. You know what? This thing multiplies like crazy as well. It's almost as bad as Scoot Swarm. Except these are 4/4s. Scoot Swarm is just a pathetic 1/1. Scoot Swarm is strictly better Scoot Mob. The Swarm is better than the Mob, I guess. Alright, well, next up, let's look at Termus's Angel of Destiny. Oh yeah, white 3 generic 2/6 Angel Cleric. Flying double strike, 2/6 creature. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. At the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 or more, 15 life more than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attacks this turn loses the game. What the hell? That is just... It's got double strike. You can double kill somebody. It's very rare that we have like a white card that will like kill your opponent in absolutely one shot. This feels like a black card to me. Creature you control deals combat damage to you and that player each gain that much life. So basically everyone's gaining life, but it doesn't matter because if you have enough life, more than your starting life total, you start killing people in one shot. It says this turn. To give your end step, if you have at least 50 or more life than your starting life total, each player Angel of Destiny attack this turn loses the game. Oh! So you had multiple attacks, you could actually like kill off everybody. And weird, it checks at end step? That is just weird. At the beginning of your end step, this triggers. It's like, you know, it's like I touched you and then stare into your eyes, and then when the sun sets, you die. That's not danger. That's even worse than danger. Yeah, just attack. Oh, my! I don't even have to touch. I just need to threaten. I'm going to attack you. I am attacking you. Look at me. I'm attacking. Yeah, this is a wild card. All right, this is, yeah. Angel of Destiny. Never heard of it until today. All right, let's look at Dylan. Threats Undetected. Are you threatening me? We have a green, what was your mention? Is a really fun one. All right, we have a green 2 generic sorcery. Search your library for up to 4 creature cards with different powers and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest into your hand. Chooses 2 of those cards. So it's like, isn't this gifts ungiven? It's gifts ungiven, except nothing goes to your graveyard. So it's fixed gifts. They fixed the gifts ungiven card. Finally. When will wizards learn? Don't let Magic players let dumb stuff into their graveyard. That's why fact or fiction, people. You're sleeping on fact or fiction. Barrett says, you know, I'd argue that any cards that's not known is underrated and will cost less than $10. For example, who's ever heard of Bearer of the Heavens? Is that the 1/4 guy? Oh no, that is not the 1/4 guy. I recognize this guy. I see this guy a lot in the bulk bin. We have a red 7 generic 10/10 giant. Whenever Bearer of the Heavens dies, destroy all permanents at the beginning of the next end step. You blow my guy up, I'm gonna blow up all your stuff. It's a one for everything. Richard says it's solid card. Last card. It's solid card advantage, but I'm not sure it's all that great. It's solid. You got it. It's solid card advantage. Different powers. All rares in Wilds of Eldraine are like $2. Did we do Dragon Rage Chandler? How the hell is that an underrated card? That card is like tier 1 everywhere. We want underrated cards, people. Underrated. Like Jacob Thunes. Time Sifter. Looks like some sort of alien. Alright, we have a 5 generic artifact at the beginning of each player's upkeep. Each player removes the top card of his or her library from the game. The player who removed the card with the highest converted mana cost takes an extra turn after this one. Oh my goodness, that is... So if you build your deck around just super high mana cost cards, you're just gonna, like, what, take infinite turns at the beginning of each player's upkeep? Okay, if 2 or more players' cards are tied for the highest card costs, the tied players repeat the process until the tie is broken. Like, hold on, so if I am not mistaken, like, if you have Sensei's Divining Top, some Eldrazi in your deck and Time Sifter, do you just win? Do you just always win from here? Because the next turn it will be your up. Oh no, you have to remove it from the game. Yeah, you can't do it perpetually. Okay, neat card. Neat, very neat. I like it. Jacob's trying to bring back an oldie. Abrupt Decay. It used to be accurately rated. Now, like, barely sees play. But maybe it should, because it's an uncounterable instant for a black and a green. Destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. Could be that stupid Rhystic Study of your opponents. Oh yeah, you're a blue deck? We'll counter this! I bet you didn't, I bet that was a little abrupt for you. Study suddenly decayed. Hitmonkey says, Nikachu, you can drop dumb shit stuff like the Leviathans for Time Sifter? Leviathans. Okay, I don't know what card you're talking about. Okay, we got Jess. Meadow the Ageless. Oh, this guy. A blue, white, 4 generic, 4/4 flyer. Whenever he does combat damage to a player, take an extra turn after this one. Can't attack during extra turns. So you can't go infinite with this thing. But I always thought this card was like, why doesn't this card see more play? I guess the problem is when you play this card, everyone's like, kill it! It must die! Everyone, pull out your swords. It's too unnatural. It's too dangerous to stay alive. Next super chat, we've got King Ginger's Kindred Dominance. Dominating. Okay, we got black, 5 generic sorcery. Choose a creature type, destroy all creatures that aren't of the chosen type. What? That's discrimination. You know, keep all the demons and vampires around and kill off everything else? Unbelievable. And I've said it many times before, anything that keeps your stuff around but blows everyone else's stuff up, that's a card worth playing. Queen of the Night, Ingenious Infiltration. Ingenious, huh? Oh, it's Vidalkin Ninja. It's a weird combination. Okay, we have a black, blue, 2 generic, 2/3 ninja with ninjutsu. Of a black and a blue. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Oh, I love it! Anything with deal damage to opponent, draw a card, I'm all for it. We need more of these cards. In fact, what one level above that is just attack and draw a card. I love that. I love that as well. Jonathan with the Maelstrom Nexus. The hell? Oh, we got Wooburg. Enchantment. The first spell you cast each turn has Cascade. Oh my goodness. That's... You're not going to live long with this card on the battlefield. Oh, they're all going to come after you. Okay, we have Little Mr. Doom, or Little MX Doom. Have you ever done Oversold Cemetery? No, we have not. The Oversold Cemetery for a black 1 generic. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 4 or more creatures in your graveyard, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So you have 4 more creature cards in your graveyard. This is great card advantage. This is not bad at all. So essentially, if enough of your stuff has died, you just keep getting it back. I like this card. I didn't know this card existed. Yeah, bring out your dead. Is it a little bit of weird flavor, like, oh, the graveyard's too full. Okay, do you know what? Don't die yet, please. You know, the graveyard, we don't have a lot of room here. Let things decompose and decay after a few years, then you can die. Until then, you can go back to life. Overworld Cemetery is a classic zombies. Why would the zombies need a card like this? A lot of the zombies just come back from the graveyard to play. Debt of Loyalty. From Christopher B. White, 1 generic. Instant regenerate target creature. Gain control of that creature. Oh, I didn't know white just so cleanly actually stole creatures. This card is absolutely amazing. Gain control of that. I killed him because I had to. Stark lied to Gerard, but now I pledge my loyalty to you. Since when did white have the ability to steal creatures? This card is insane. White card, and you can take anything. Like, you know what? Like, let me just to put in perspective. Like, looks like Threads of Disloyalty. For blue, we have a blue 1 generic. Threads of Disloyalty can enchant only a creature with convert mana cost 2 or less. You control enchanted creature. That's what you get for 3 mana at sorcery speed. At instant speed, I just swipe the thing. Oh, it has to regenerate though. So I can't just put the shield on it. You gain control of that creature so it has to die, and then you swipe it away. But that's still pretty good. That's a game changer right there. Yeah, it has to die. It has to die. I got it. I still like it. I still like it. That's dominating. Ashen, you're back. What are you back with? My favorite proliferate target, Undergrowth Champion. There's a lot of someone should make champion typal of a deck. Every deck with a champion. Champion of the Parish, Undergrowth Champion, Underworld Champion. Okay, green 1 generic for a 2/2 elemental. If damage would be dealt to Undergrowth Champion, well, it has a +1/+1 counter on it. Prevent that damage and remove a +1/+1 counter from it. So it's basically going to be indestructible. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Undergrowth Champion. Indestructible creature. Oh, you heard that music. Oh God. I don't know. Give me a second. You heard the music. And that means it's time to take a look at today's sponsors. Like FusionGamingOnline.com. My #1 place that I buy all my Magic singles and sealed product. Mostly singles because I don't believe in gambling for the cards that I want. I'll just buy the cards that I want. And the cards that you need from Wilds of Eldraine, the new artifacts and creatures, apparently all the new underrated cards coming out of Wilds of Eldraine, you can get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. You get cards that you're going to buy anyway, and you support the channel. And you can support yourself by getting an additional 5% off all your purchases when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Your ability to play any deck, any format, any time that you want. Want to play some vintage? Ever want to play with Black Lotus and get obliterated on turn 2 in that wild format? You can do that with Mana Traders, and you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months. Only 2 months, people. Using coupon code Nikachu_N9M. All right, and now back to Undergrowth Champion. Back to wild cards. Wildly underrated. We will return to Nikachu's coffee crew after these messages. After these very, very short messages. Okay, Logan. What do you got for us, Logan? Ring Sight. What are we looking at here? Black, blue, 1 generic sorcery. The ring tempts you. Search your library for a card that shares a color with a legendary creature you control. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Not a bad tutor. And the ring gets to tempt you at the same time. How about that in Commander? Is the ring tempting you like anything good? It's like, is it turning broken? Or is it just like incredibly fair? Submerge for your merfolk. Problem is, like, Submerge is actually a great card, but like, problem is like finding the right deck to play it against. It's a free spell, like it's 5 mana, but if they control a forest, we have an island, we can play it for free. Put target creature on top of its owner's library. Like, it's a good card, but it needs to be only played against decks that have forests, basically. Beanpot with Teleria, that might be an underrated card. You know what? Like, probably not enough decks play this card. I probably don't even play this card enough. Enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap to add a blue, and you transmute it for your blue, 1 generic. I'll admit, I don't think I have this in my Commander deck. And I should. And I should be ashamed of myself. You just go get a 0-drop. That could be an artifact. It could be a Pact of Negation. It could be a Kobold. It could be anything. Toilet Duck says the ring tempts you equals it doesn't Zyber. Shred it. All right. People don't like playing against that card, huh? Abe, what do you got for us, Abe? Tragic Arrogance is the most underrated board wipe in EDH. Gets around hexproof and indestructible, and you get to choose what stays alive. You choose, huh? Okay, white, 3 generic. Sorcery. For each player, you choose from among the permanents that player controls. An artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents they control. So you choose one, they lose the rest. So you don't board wipe everything. But you try to keep the crappiest things of everything that they have onto the battlefield. Spreading seas makes forests? That doesn't make any sense. It makes islands. David, spreading plague. We got a black 4 generic enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy all creatures that shared a color with it. They can't be regenerated. Does that mean, like, for most decks, you can only have, like, 1 creature out? I mean, okay, if you're at, like, a multicolored deck, I guess you could have, like, a, blue, red, white one. Whenever a creature comes into play, destroy all the creatures that share a color with it. Does that include... Okay, hold on. Whoa. That includes everybody else as well. What the hell is going on here? This card actually seems OP. I don't even know how to get around this damn thing. So if I play a blue creature, my opponent plays a blue creature, I lose my creature. Destroy all other creatures. Yeah, that's how it is. This card's broken. It's broken. Absolutely busted. I love it. Card that I never knew. Well, anyway, I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I hope nobody knows this card exists. I'm going to edit this out of the video. Spreading Play is going to absolutely destroy me. Oh, did I do Ring Sight from Logan? I'm sorry. I think I missed your Ring Sight. Okay, Ring Sight. Make sure we... Oh, no, I did do Ring Sight. All right. Kindred Discovery, then. From King Ginger. What are these, crows? White, a blue 3 generic enchantment. As Kindred Discovery enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever a creature you control of the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. I love this. So whenever a creature... I need to play this card. I play this thing, I name Merfolk. I play Merfolk, I draw a card. I attack with a Merfolk, I draw a card. A family that welcomes birds of all feathers. This is perfect. Thank you, King Ginger. I didn't know I needed this card. It's exactly what I was looking for. Zath, Pyromancer Ascension. People are bringing up the oldies. The oldies but goldies. Red 1 generic enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that has the same name as that card in your graveyard, you can put a quest counter on Pyromancer Ascension. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell while Pyromancer Ascension has 2 or more quest counters on it, you may copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. If I am not mistaken, this card should be worth the dirt. It's actually worth like a quarter. Interestingly. The useless in Commander, because you don't have more than one card anyway. They don't really make cards like these anymore because they have to appease the Commander players. These days they're like, can Commander play this? No? Okay, well, we're just not designing it. So, yeah, that's it. It's gone. I have a feeling they're just not going to print anything like this ever again. They never make strict... I feel like they just don't make strictly useful for regular constructed Magic cards. It's only Commander cards and Commander cards that can be played in Constructed Magic. Yvonne, share the spoil. I like how you show that you're like a super OG of Coffee and MTG with the question marks. Okay, we have a red 1 generic enchantment. When share the spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with share the spoils, and they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast the spell. When they do, exile the top card of their library. The only thing I don't like about share the spoils is that it's not flavorful. I think when some player loses, you divide their whole deck, and everyone gets to play their cards. That would be cool. Shuffle their deck into your deck. It would be a complete nightmare to deal with, especially if the cards are the same, but I don't care. It would be more flavorful. That's how they share the spoils. Next up, we have Triox with Risk Factor. So many, would you like press button? Goblin Voice finishes with it. Oh, this card, the red 2 generic instant. Target opponent may have Risk Factor deal 4 damage to them. If the player doesn't, you draw 3 cards. So, 3 mana. Do I get to draw 3 cards? Or would you like to take 4 damage to the face? Jumpstart. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. So would you like to take the 4 damage, or am I going to take, am I drawing 3 cards? You taking 4 to the face? You do that over and over and over again. The card was very frustrating and historic at a time. Platonic Liquid. Bulky wants Breath of Fury, pushing the $10 limit. That's fine. Breath of Fury. Oh no, it's $9, $9.50 in Commander 2016. Okay, we got red, 2 generic, enchantment. Enchant creature you control. When an enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it and attach a Breath of Fury to a creature you control. If you do, untap all creatures you control after this phase. There is an additional combat phase. What are you going to do with that additional combat phase, Bulky? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Bulky? You going to attack me? You going to attack me again? Where are you, Bulky? I know you're hiding here in the chat. Can't find you, damn it. Bulky thinking dangerous, very, very nasty things. Did we get something from Lord Trevor? Reshape from darkness. Darkness. Reshape. Oh, sorry, dark steel. Reshape from darkness sounds cooler. Reshape from... Oh, you mean reshape. Dark steel is the set. This card. Okay. Blue, X. I think that it sounded like a cool card. Reshape from darkness. I mean, that's like Wizards. You can keep that one from me. You can steal it. Okay, we have a blue X sorcery, but it's reshape the card from dark steel the set. Here, we'll even get the original dark steel one. As initial cost to play reshape, sack an artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less and put it into play. Then shuffle your library. I mean, what makes this busted is that the X can just easily be 0. There's so many good 0-drop artifacts you just put directly onto the battlefield. Would it dibblick? I don't know. I don't know if it would dibblick. All right, next super chat. Let's get Pacers fan forever. Zerillion. What? Zerillion. I use Zerillion of the Claw as my general in EDH. All right. It's a Viashino Shaman for 5 mana, 3/4. Red, 1 generic. Tap, search your library for a dragon. Sort of sounds like a dragon. Dragon card, put onto the battlefield as if it were just played. Shuffle your library afterwards. That creature is unaffected by summoning sickness. Remove the creature from the game at end of turn. Oh God! So you're gonna lose your dragon. So you put on the battlefield. It gains haste. Make sure you get some value out of it. I guess you can get that blue. No, you can't even get the blue dragon. If this is your, because there's a blue dragon that draws cards. I think you roll dice, draw cards. But if this is your commander, then you can't play the blue one. Chosen one, only one. Leave no trace. White 1 generic. Instant radiance. Destroy target enchantment and each other enchantment that shares a color with it. And it will leave no trace. Yeah, you gotta get the 15 treasure dragon. Many dragons. Okay, what do you got, King Ginger? We've got Tunnel Ignis? What's up with this? It is an Ignis. Red 1 generic, 2/1 elemental. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player had another land enter the battlefield under his or her control this turn, Tunnel Ignis deals 3 damage to that player. You hear that? You put too many lands on the battlefield, you're gonna get punished. Screw them landfall players. So basically the first land, that's fine. The second land, screw you. Tunnel Ignis gonna keep things, keep you in check. Dakra Mystic from Mulk. Oh my goodness. I think I know what this is. This is it's the 1/1 merfolk that manipulates the top of your library. It's a blue 1/1. Pay a blue tap. Each player reveals the top card of his or her library. You may put the revealed cards into their owner's graveyards. If you don't, each player draws a card. Maybe in a world with Lantern of Insight, maybe you can combo those two together. So Lantern of Insight says each player plays with the top card of their library revealed. So, like, when you know the card is good for you and bad for them, put the cards in your hand. But if you know the cards are good for them, bad for you, put them into the graveyard. Anyway, that's the only way I can think of making that card work. Some124C, thanks so much for the super chat, but what is your card? I gotta look for you now, Sum124C. When did you super chat this? Supposed to super chat with a message, not without it. You make me dig for your message. Hopefully it's not too far from the super chat. I'm doing some detective work here. Okay, I found your super chat. Now what's your comment? Ancestral knowledge. Knowledge. You know what's more important, my Lamborghini? All these shelves of books behind me. We have a blue 1 generic enchantment, cumulative upkeep of 1. When ancestral knowledge comes into play, look at the top 10 cards of your library, then remove any number of them from the game and put the rest back on top of your library in any order. If ancestral knowledge leaves play, shuffle your library. Oh god. Comes into play, look at this. So you basically sculpt your deck a little bit. Actually, you sculpt your deck a lot. Look at the top 10 cards. You can remove anything. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a super... Well, when it comes into play... Oh, I see. So when it comes into play, and then you try to keep it around with the cumulative upkeep for as long as possible. It's like a super cantrip, really. I mean, if you lose it, big deal. If you can just keep 1 card off the top of your deck for... And it looks 10 cards deep, it might be worth it. Random question, you see the Super Mario RPG is getting remade? I saw it. I think it's a mistake. They should just make a sequel. I think people would be more anticipating a sequel than the remake. I didn't think it needed so much promotion. Klyler. Phantom Mage? Phantom? Such a card exists? Fathom Mage. Probably Fathom Mage. The blue-green 2 generic 1/1 with Evolve. And you get a counter on this thing, you draw a card. And doesn't need to get a counter through Evolve. You can just put a counter on the damn thing. And then maybe you can proliferate. You just get 1 counter on, you start proliferating, you start drawing cards like crazy. Wow, they reprinted this thing to hell. People really like their Fathom Mages. Okay, let's blast through the super chats. We got super chats here. Little Mr. Doom. Incarnation Technique. I think every Demonstrate card is underrated in Commander, but Incarnation is the best. The black 4 generic sorcery with Demonstrate, when you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. So on, how many copies are there? Okay, I cast the spell. I get to copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. So I choose someone else to copy it. Do they keep copying? Or do copies not make copies? This sounds like, in my mind, this is going on for forever. I don't see the end to it. Oh, it's as I cast this spell. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't end. It will end. Because only when you cast the spell, you copy it. So do I get 2 copies, someone else gets 1? Yeah, the copies aren't cast. So hold on, do I have 2 copies, someone else has 1? Mill 5 cards and return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yes, I get 2. So I basically get 10 mana worth of a card, and someone else gets 5. Cool. Cool stuff. Draw out your fear, but don't let it control you. You're in charge now. Weak flavor text. I have to say, very, very weak flavor text. Could have been a lot better. Josh Karen with March of the Multitudes. White, green for an X with Convoke, though. Create X/1/1 white soldier creature tokens with lifelink. Josh loves his token deck. Also loves lifelink. Huge lifelink fan. Polarity. Opposition. Thanks for the midday entertainment, Nikachu. You're welcome. Opposition. I love opposition. Actually, what I love more is that I hate this picture, though. How many times do they reprint this? Many times. All right. Blue 2 generic. Tap an untapped creature you control. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. They don't make cards like this anymore. Man, I would kill to have this card. I wonder if it would be good in Modern. Like, maybe, maybe not. Because you may not have any creatures in play to actually do anything with this damn thing. But maybe it would. Maybe it would make Manadorks great again. Okay, we got Mario with Hollowed Burial. Did we do this one? No, we didn't. All right, we did a lot of hollowed cards today, but we didn't do one where it's a 5 mana, but all creatures on the bottom of their owner's library. We were talking about earlier, like, how do you get around hexproof and indestructible? Well, apparently hollowed burial. Just put them all on the bottom. Get them out of here. And then also, all the players that are not playing fetch lands, watch them how sick they are. All their best creatures are stuck on the bottom of their library. They're never going to get to them. They're gone for the rest of the day. They know exactly where they are, and they're never going to get them. Okay, let's look at game over time. Gibbering Descent. 6 mana at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player loses 1 life and discards a card. Hellbent, skip your upkeep if you have no cards in hand. And Madness. Oh, you can mad this thing into play? At the beginning of each player's upkeep, you lose 1 life and discard a card. Skip your upkeep step if you have... So I get to skip my upkeep step if I have no cards left in hand. But no one else gets to skip their upkeep step. That is too bad for them. Pacers fan forever. Flame Shadow Conjuring. Red 3 generic enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay red. If you do create a token that's a copy of that creature, the token gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. Stuff doesn't last very long in red. It burns bright and then it dies. That's how it works in red. Little Mr. Doom. Rocco Street Chef. My favorite recent commander. The Red Elf. Right? Yeah, the Red Elf. And it's a and Rocco's a druid. Okay, white, green, red. At the beginning of your end step, each player exile the top card of their library. Until your next end step, each player may play the card they exiled this way. Whenever a player plays a land from exile or casts a spell from exile, you may put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and create a food token. Great for the food deck. Rocco, they make food. And you have another one, Little Mr. Doom. All right, so you have a combo with your Rocco Warlock class. AKA the only good class card. I would argue that there is no good class card. I've never seen a good class. I thought all the class cards actually just suck. I mean, they're just so mana intensive. We have a black at the beginning of your at the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. Level 2 for 2 mana. Whenever this class becomes level 2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay, and then level 7. Wait, what we got for level 7? We gotta redeem ourselves here. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. Okay, not bad. Not bad. That is a lot of mana, though. What do we... That's 7, 8, 9, 10. We spent 10 mana to get that effect. But that's a good effect. They lose 13 life, then they lose another 13. That's 26 damage. Alright, next super chat. We've got Blacklands Geo with Mosswood Dreadnought. Sorry, Dread Knight. Mosswood Dread Knight. The green 1 generic 3/2 human knight. We got a black 1 generic sorcery. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. Sure, that's fine. I don't like the losing life part though. And then we have a 3/2 trampler. When Mosswood Dread Knight dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. Oh, so it dies and becomes basically like an adventure. You can cast it as though if it were an adventure until the end of your next turn. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a great effect. So basically this thing, you can't keep the Mosswood Dread Knight down. He keeps coming back over and over again. This is new and rated pretty highly, I think. But yeah, it's true. It is new. Okay, let's see more play then. Okay, Ashen. Don't worry, you can super chat as many times as you want, Ashen. I have no problem with that. Last one for me. Azusa, Lost But Seeking. Azusa? Since when was this underrated? This card's busted! It's green 2, generic 1/2, human monk. You can play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. It's broken. You need that, we need that elemental to keep this Azusa in check. Put lands onto the battlefield, get shocked for 3 damage. We have Guillaume Blues, with, Ivy, Gleeful, Spells Thief, copy auras. Why do you want to copy the auras? Auras suck. Okay, blue-green, 2/1, flying. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than Ivy, you may copy that spell. The copy targets Ivy. Oh, it hits more than just the auras. So a copy of an aura becomes a token. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so only a single creature other than Ivy. So if anyone plays spells that targets those things, Ivy also gets it. All right, you got to share it around. Don't be hogging all this stuff. If you share with one, you have to share with, well, maybe not everyone. You guys share with the school teacher. School teacher wants to know what's going around. What are you doing over there? What notes are you passing? Polarity! How about Goblin Cheerigan? Goblin... Or, is it, how do I... Is it Cheerugan? Cherugian? Is it Hirigian? I don't know. It's hard for me to pronounce. Only 35 cents. Combos very well with Pashalik Mons. Also good for preserving your valuable goblins. Okay, we got red 0/2. It's just sack a creature, regenerate a creature? Yeah, it will keep your goblins around. You can sacrifice the useless ones. Not on the reserve list. Alright, for the goblin decks out there. Rated Lex with the Mana Maze. What's in this maze? Howdy from El Paso. Yeehaw. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Oh, this old card. Blue 1 generic enchantment. Players can't play spells that share a color with the spell last played this turn. Also, not only is it some useful utility, but also you'll scramble all your opponent's brains because they won't know what the hell is going on. It's like, players can't play spells that share a color with the spell last played this turn. Yeah, so basically 1 color a spell per turn. So if your opponent is playing like a sorcery speed deck, play some spells that share colors with their deck at their upkeep and peeve them off. Peeve them off. Platonic Liquid. What do you got for us? If you like attacking and drawing, try Grazalax. Or Grazalax? Grizzlakes? Blue, 1 generic, 3/2 horror. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat to a player, draw a card! I love it. Love drawing them cards. There's no better, I don't know, dopamine feeling in Magic the Gathering than drawing cards. I can't say I always win when I draw cards, but I know I feel very happy when I do. The happy chemicals happen. Okay, Little Mr. Doom. 5 Alarm Fire, great for token decks. That is a true story. 5 Alarm Fire. Isn't that the card that doubles the stuff? Oh no, this is a different card. Red, 1 generic. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage, put a blaze counter on 5 Alarm Fire. What are they blazing? Little did they know they would go in and there's no fire. It's just a bunch of people smoking up. Whenever 5 blaze counters from 5 alarm... Remove 5 blaze counters from 5 alarm fire. Deal 5 damage to target creature or player. Is that really how it works? So we can take the fire from someone's home and just throw it at somebody else? Because that's the flavor of this thing. Neat card. Polarity! What do you got for us, Polarity? Lure of Prey on the reserve list. Green, 2 generic. For an instant, play only if an opponent successfully cast a summon spell. Put a green summon card from your hand into play as though it were just played. This card's sick! Yeah, you're right. It's a reserve list card for $5. So, and it's like it's an instant speed show and tell for green cards. But it only works if your opponent played a green card. And they have to cast it. Their opponent's creature didn't even have to resolve. What is this thing over here? Some sort of small alien creature that's feeling very proud in front of this big insect creature. Taylor! Mikko Loth. What is this all about? Perfect for the token decks. Green, 3 generic for a 4/4 fungus with Devour 2. Enters the battlefield. You may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with twice that many +1/+1 counters. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token for each +1/+1 counter on Mikkola. Whoa! That's going to be a lot of tokens. Them upkeeps are going to be insane! Alright, anyway, that's it for Coffee and MTG today. I hope you enjoyed those underrated cards. And if you want to be part of the show and suggest your own underrated cards, among other things that we do on this show every morning, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks everyone who supports the show, everyone who's a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or use Super Chat to be part of the show every single morning. And of course, we have to thank the people who show up in the morning who makes the show every day, like Steve Cooper, B. Jacksaw, Toads, King Ginger, Game Over Time, Toads, John, Toilet Duck, Michelin, Spool Liter, Some124C, Mr. Deadhead, Boy is Shot, Christopher B. Because as usual, my coffee crew, you guys are the ones that makes the show. So keep brewing up them coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.